Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons show. I am Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine Hells, Prince of Evil, God of Tyranny, and Supreme Master of the Nine Hells. Perhaps you've heard of me. Now, I am here with a group of my friends to play a little game I like to call Dungeons and Dragons. Sir Nick, would you please kindly kick off some player introductions?
Hi, I'm Nick. I play Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, the Human Vengeance Paladin.
I'm terrified, but my name is Kay, and I play Harmony, who's a tiefling wild magic sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm the only one who still did this when he said Dungeons and Dragons. I play Zant, who is a human fighter ranger.
And I'm Melissa, and I play Mara, who is a human rogue swashbuckler.
We premiere our episodes every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom wild magic table, for those of you who are following along carefully. Our character portraits, which you'll see on the info cards in the top right corner of the screen, were drawn by an artist named Kerry Peach, who goes by @KerryDraws on Twitter. Now, if you need a refresher on anything in this campaign, we have a campaign wiki at worldanvil.com. You can check the video description for links and information about everything I just mentioned and more, including I don't feel like I should say the Black Lives Matter part in Asmodeus' voice. We have some information about Black Lives Matter, which is a cause that is important to Antiheroes Anonymous. It's in the video description. I didn't want to say that in Asmodeus' voice.
No, I get it. I agree.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Follow us on Twitter at AntiheroesAnon. And other than that, we just hope you enjoy the show. Come back to watch more and share it with your friends. Now, let me tell you a little story. Here I was, minding my business and plotting my ultimate dominance of the multiverse, when this group of reckless, pesky heroes decided to invade my home, pressing forward inexorably until they finally arrived on Malbolg, the 6th layer of my domain. During their aggressive downward descent, they crossed paths with a number of my subordinates, striking deals and slaying their foes with wanton abandon. Now, I am a forgiven lord, so I stood by and watched as they slew my followers, even going so far as to throw the insects a celebratory feast when they made a meager contribution to the blood war. But how do they repay me in my generous kindness? By taking one of my greatest generals away from me and restoring her to goodness. Now I couldn't let that go unpunished, so I set my servants Mephistopheles and Beelzebul against them, but they somehow managed to break through our ranks. Now, the way to their ultimate goal in hell is clear, but I'm not out of cards to play just yet. I've taken their pal Moloch from them, and now all that remains is to see how their final days in hell play out. So, let's tune in, shall we? There you go. We did it. Recapping Asmodeus' voice.
Oh man, I am so fulfilled. I'm ready to stop right now. I'm good. It's perfect. Oh no, we weren't recording, Ethan. You have to do it again.
Oh geez, that'd be bad.
Just kidding.
So the group of you at the end of last session managed to slay Mechagorgon and drive off the attack against Moloch's camp, only moments later to have Asmodeus himself appear and snap his fingers, pulling Moloch and himself away from that location. Harmony desperately turned the golden scale Moloch gave her over in her hands, trying to summon him back, but to no avail. And now the group of you stand in the middle of the burning campsite that once served as Moloch's command center, surrounded by the bodies of devils and Yugoloths, and also the demon Demogorgon. The Yugoloths and Demogorgon have begun to sort of dissolve into this black, foul-smelling ichor. But the bodies of the devils remain scattered here and there, and you watch as similar to what you witnessed in the battle against Mechagorgon, tendrils of fleshy substance begin to extend up from the ground and grasp the bodies of the devils as they lay there motionless and slowly begin pulling them downward into the lair and merging with itself. What would you like to do?
Lovely. Yeah, I'm just squatting there, flipping the scale and crying.
Did we notice this phenomenon happen throughout the entire lair, like everywhere? They would, anytime something dies, it kind of just gets consumed.
You didn't really stick around too many places where killing was done.
Like flying over the
Like-
battlefield and stuff like that, you can see the body sort of starting to get pulled under.
Yeah, like flying over the battlefield, it would have been like a little bit high for you to notice. And for the most part, like when you've ended a battle, you've gotten out of there pretty much right away.
Have you seen my perception score?
That's
Just
true.
kidding.
I guess maybe Zant would have noticed noticed a little bit, but here you're kind of stood amongst numerous bodies decaying, and it's particularly striking.
Okay.
I just want to point out that I looked at my notes from last week,
Ouch.
and I only have one note from last week, and it says, "Oh no!" I don't know. I don't remember what part of the episode I wrote that at, but
Pretty sure it
that
was the end.
seems
Probably the
that
Moloch
seems
part.
a good summation. Well, I mean, Zant went down
That's true.
a couple, a few times, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
4
could have
times.
been any of that. but-
I think Thaddeus would look around and try and find someone from our army who's still alive.
Mm-hmm. There are various Yugoloths still kind of mulling about the area, but the ice devils that belong to Ruin have already vanished. They're just gone.
Okay.
Does anything else happen to the skin after they get absorbed? I mean, does it like form a pool or something?
It's interesting because they do get absorbed partially down, and that does create kind of a bulge in the flesh of the lair, but they don't get absorbed fully into the ground itself. You can see like parts of them are still sticking out, and the ones that some of them it's like their faces and other stuff like that that's sticking out, and those ones as you watch them you see their eyes actually will flutter open wide, and they just start mumbling nonsense in Infernal.
Yeah.
Sure, the real estate value is rocketing right now with all these additions. So Zant is going to stand up because I believe he was still just resurrected, or not resurrected, but conscious again. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of like survey the battlefield. Are our forces like pushing them back now, or are they just in full retreat and then,
The enemies are in full retreat,
Okay.
and your forces don't even seem to need to push them back anymore.
Okay, so they're just kind of, recovering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A lot of the Yugoloths look like they were pretty badly wounded. Like some of them are missing limbs or bleeding heavily or things like that. It's not the strongest looking force at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull one aside, just like stop one, and say, "You, what's your name?"
What is a Yugoloth
Yeah.
name?
You can just say it tells me its name. I'm not gonna do this to you. DM
I
to
am
you.
Drizak.
Its name is
Jizak.
And this is one of those like four-armed, purple chitinous skinned insect looking ones that tend to wield like tridents and things like that.
Okay. Jizak, Moloch might be gone, but his mission remains. Round everybody up. Make sure that nobody's trying to desert.
It blinks at you and says, "Oh, Our loyalty is to the imp. And it just blinks at you again.
Mhm. But you were paid to do a job, and we were in on that job. And that job isn't finished, and it won't be until tomorrow.
Technically, we haven't been paid. It's our, let's say, master who's been paid. And we are loyal to the imp. But you can make as you're kind of staring this creature down, I guess an intimidation check or a persuasion check. Whichever one
Let's
you
make an
prefer.
intimidation, because I'm kind of still in the like avenging angel guys at the moment.
Yeah, that feels fitting to me.
That's a dirty 20.
30-20, okay. As you kind of stare this creature down, not really flinching on that, it looks up at you and it says, all right, fine. I'll gather everyone up. But no promises we'll listen to any orders beyond that.
If the imp returns, if Moloch returns, we're going to be over there. And he points over to where the Temple of Cold Justice is still set up. Send a runner over there if he shows up again. I'll want to know.
It just kind of nods. And then walks away. Begins gathering up the living Yugoloths.
So do we guys have any idea what Moloch's plan was for Mother Midnight? Or should we start looking through his things? Or do you think we'll see
His
him
things are
again?
all on fire in the tent that is just behind you.
Great.
Yeah. We can try and put that fire out, I guess.
I think Zant will try and comfort Harmony, walk over there and I know that this isn't good, but Moloch's probably okay. Asmodeus doesn't seem like he's the one to. If he wanted him dead, he would have killed him, right? So.
That's true, but this is pretty much his worst fear, and it's all our fault.
I think his worst fear has been happening the past few days.
And it's all our fault.
He was in on this too, though, so I mean, he knew the risks. I'm not saying.
What do we do? How do we get him back? It's not like we can go up against the Lord of the Hells.
I mean, it's not like we can even get there either. But like, we just
I
have to
don't
hope
know what
that,
to do. We
well,
have to help him. Like taking down Mother Midnight. This wasn't just my quest; it's his.
Well,
we can't do it without him.
We do know some very influential people around here that might be able to work an angle for us.
For another price.
Colossia's. I mean, but yeah, what else are we gonna do? I don't think we can journey down there and rescue him ourselves. If Asmodeus has the power to.
Why would he even take him? What is he trying to do? I don't understand.
Sensing that you're very distraught over this, Lulu kind of comes over. She's returned to her small mammoth form, and she kind of nuzzles up to you and kind of gives you a little hug with her trunk. Says, listen, Harmony. I'm sure everything's going to work out. I mean, look, I don't particularly like the guy, but I know he means a lot to you. So I'm sure that we'll do whatever we can to get him back. Me and I know Mara will, and Zant, and I'm sure Thaddeus will too. But look, maybe there's something we can do in the meantime while we're trying to think of a plan. Is there any magic that we have that could help us find out what Asmodeus needs him for, or what he's doing with him, or anything like that?
Also possible we can use the sending stone.
Yeah, I had thought of that too. I could send a message to Moloch once we get everything settled.
Yeah. Get an idea.
But I don't know how much Moloch is going to know either.
Well, at least he'll know more of the situation than we will. Otherwise,
and we have that scrying stone, right?
We do. Yeah.
But I guess the scry only works on the same plane. Does it work on the same if it's on different levels of hell? I can't remember. Or I don't know if we've even tried
I don't know if you've tried it, but it would. You're still
Okay.
technically on the
Because
same.
technically the 9 hells are one plane.
Yeah, even though it's 9 separate parts, it's of the same thing.
Yeah, so we have that crystal ball, and I still have my wish. I haven't used it today.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
So,
was hoping to use it for Heroes Feast later, but I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I think the best thing we should do is continue pushing on with our goal, which is also Moloch's goal. So if he returns on his own accord or by Asmodeus' will, then at least we'll be one step forward to, claiming this area back for him and completing our mission. So, but yeah, I mean, we should definitely put our heads together and think of if there's a way we can at least help him in some way or communicate with him. Maybe
Right.
maybe sending is the first best option to see what he or understand a little bit more of his situation.
You're right.
Harmony, did he tell you anything about his plan? I know his worst fear is realized right now with being in Asmodeus's clutches again. And he got, demoted and banished last time? But did he tell you?
He wanted to reclaim this.
Yeah,
lair,
but I mean,
right? Or
He
plan.
he just wanted to take revenge on Mother Midnight, but I think his plan was us. I don't think he had a plan himself. I think he was relying on us to do the work for him. And he had an army to get us here. I don't know. I was hoping to talk to him about that after we took down this big giant metal dude. Shall we see what we can salvage from his tent in the meantime?
Sure, I'll help you with that.
I can control flames, right? Does that let me put them out?
Probably. And if not,
With-
it would certainly let you direct them away from the
Because I
tent
have,
itself.
yeah, I have control flames, and I also have prestidigitation. So between those,
Prestidigitation is like for a candle, but I think control flames would do it.
that's what I was thinking too.
That is, by this point,
Yep.
has like stomped off to go refresh the temple.
Yeah, you guys basically ran out, fought for a couple minutes, and then I guess are going to go back eventually, but it hasn't been very long. So Harmony, you continuously cast control flames, and it takes a little while to put out the entire surface area of the central command tent, which I think like a tent pole fell out at one point and it was on fire. So it's in pretty bad shape, but you put it all out and you kind of move the tent canvas out of the way. And Moloch's sort of strategy table, the map that kind of outlines the plane and all the little pieces that were on it, are scattered all over the place. The table itself is in pieces. But yeah, you uncover this area. What are you looking for?
I don't know. Notes or letters, like instructions, anything written that would have any semblance of instructions for his army or whatever that he had left.
So it's like war doctrines and stuff like
or
that.
notes that he had been taking for himself, or
Battle plans.
anything like that.
Okay. Unfortunately, everything that you find of that nature relates to how to drive back Beelzebul, Mephistopheles, and Maligard's forces. The impression you get as you kind of sift through these notes and the documents that are here is that once this situation arose, and it was very much an unforeseen situation for him, all of his plans got devoted to getting out of that specific situation. And he hadn't had the bandwidth to think far enough ahead to, okay, once we get through this, what do we do then? Because he wasn't sure that you'd get through it, right?
Right. Did we... I can't remember, but I feel like he and I had a telepathic link while he was with me, right? Did we?
Yeah,
Maybe
does he
not.
count?
Did I
does-
imagine that?
Does he
He
count
might
as your
have.
familiar or not?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I can't remember. I feel like he and I have talked telepathically before, but I can't remember if
Was it just because of the earrings?
I don't remember. I don't remember if I imagined that.
I'm drawing a blank, but now that you mention it, I also think that maybe you have.
Like when he first showed up,
Yeah.
I feel like.
You may have. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry.
Well, the reason I asked
Either
is
way,
I'd like
though,
to try that right now.
If such a link existed, it would have been a close proximity one,
Okay.
I think.
All right.
The way that he gave you to, reach him if you needed him was the scale, if over a matter of distance, but that doesn't seem to be working.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, then there's nothing here that can help us. And I think I've done research on hags and he's given me all the information already that I needed to know about Maligard previously, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you guys talked at length about, ultimately getting to this point. So you, I think, probably have all the information that he had.
Okay. All right. Well, let's reconvene then at the temple and try to come up with a plan. And then I'll send a message and maybe we should try to scry on Maligard and the hags. Maybe that's a better use of a scry to kind of see what we're going to be up against.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
One of us could do that while you're doing the sending to Moloch if you want to do that, or whatever. We have plenty of time, so.
Yeah.
Well, who's attuned to it now? Is it you, Thaddeus?
I think Thaddeus used it as a focus or something last time.
I used it as a component in the spell.
Yeah.
I'm not attuned to it, but I do know the spell scrying.
Okay. Did you prepare it today?
It's always prepared for me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, in that case, go back to the temple, and I still have a star flying around my head. It lasts for an hour.
Okay. As you start to go back to the temple, those Yugoloths that have gathered up, and it's a pretty small group, they seem to be having an argument, though a lot of it seems to be telepathic. So like you can't hear what they're saying. You can just tell by their reactions to each other that they're arguing about something mentally.
Okay. I'll break in.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna stomp over to them and I'm going in my new 4 foot height.
Yep, very
4 foot,
intimidating.
6 inches, I think. I feel a lot more powerful with another 10 inches on me. I walk over and I say, Moloch put us in charge. Moloch put me in charge. He answered to me and now you'll answer to me. Get some rest tonight. We're taking on Maligard tomorrow.
Okay. You make an intimidate check as well. Intimidation.
Okay. Intimidation. That's fine. My intimidation's okay.
Tides of Chaos.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna Tides of Chaos that.
Yeah, I'm gonna Tides of Chaos that.
I
Just
could
in
see
case.
it in your face
Yeah,
as soon as the
it's
dice
very
rolled.
obvious.
That's much better. That would be a 28.
28. Okay.
Dang.
Every single Yugoloth here still towers above you, but as you come over and say that, they all definitely like take a step back. They're clearly intimidated by you.
I feel like one of them's
I've
eyes
still got the stars
would
spinning
flick
around
up
my
to
head.
that star. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you think that they're probably, well, at least more of them than before are probably going to listen to you.
Okay. And I'll say, spread the word to the rest of the survivors. We'll reconvene here in the morning.
One of them, probably that same bug-like one, Drizak, or whatever I called him, looks up at you and says,
Looks good.
Aye, Captain. Kind of sarcastic and a little bit tired.
That's boss to you. And I turn around and walk away.
It just kind of clicks its mandibles.
Ooh, a perfect target.
I head back to the temple.
Okay. Yeah, you all regroup there. The temple has, well, it's probably still a little ways from being refreshed completely, but Thaddeus is in the process of casting that ritual.
Okay, well, he does that. I'll sit down cross-legged and I'll take out the ruby and I will send a message to Moloch.
Okay,
I'm gonna take a short rest, if that's okay.
go for it.
Because I'm at 1 HP.
Okay, so my message is, I'm so sorry. How can we help? Should we fight Maligard without you? I need your guidance. We're going to help you. I think that's about what I can get in.
Okay. You do get a response back after, it's pretty instantaneous. And the response is, boss, is that you? I'm in real big trouble. I don't know what you can do to help. Just keep going. And then in the middle of the word going, the voice cuts off and it's replaced by, oh, I don't think so. You think that your pathetic spells will allow you to communicate and coordinate against my will? No. You'll talk to this one when I want you to talk to this one, and no sooner. And that's the response you get.
Cool. Yeah. So, Mr. Lord Dickface just hijacked my call.
It's a new title for Asmodeus.
Mr. Lord Dickface
Well,
just
Lord of the
hijacked my
Ninth,
call.
God of Tyranny, Mr.
Look
Lord
for the
Dickface.
shot.
You got to put that on his wiki page.
And at least you know Moloch's still there and he's still feisty.
He says he's in real trouble, but I don't think that. I think there'll be time to save him after we deal with Maligard. I think that he's more valuable to Mr. Lord Dickface alive than dead right now. So, and Moloch did say to go on without him.
Okay.
Or to keep going.
Okay. We can do that.
Well, at least he's alive, Harmony. That's something.
Yes, Lulu. That is something.
Because if he were killed on this plane, he'd be gone for good.
Yes, Lulu. He would be gone for good. Thank you for that reminder.
You're welcome. Flies away, gold sparkles everywhere.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, a little bit longer passes. Zant gets a little bit of a rest in. Anyone else who wants to can have taken a short rest, and the temple reforms.
Out of the holes until we need to go.
Thanks, Thaddeus.
Hope no more of those hellhounds come and attack us while we're trying to recoup.
Well, Asmodeus did say that he would let us off the hook now, right?
I mean, we really
Well,
can't trust him, though.
Yeah. Keep expecting something weird like abominable snowman or something.
Not
I'm
here.
rolling hit die, and I just rolled 2 6s on a d6.
Nice.
in
There
a
it is.
row. That's
Roll an
great.
extra because of your talent thing. Your feet.
I know. Oh, 3 6s in a row.
Oh my
I swear to
gosh.
God. That's so good.
That's what you roll when you're in hell.
666.
Ooh,
Maybe I should stop there.
Wow, that was quick. Good job.
that's good. Well, if you told all the Yugoloths that we are advancing tomorrow, maybe today we can do some more in-person reconnaissance since we have plenty of time.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think we all should be fully rested and we should have another Heroes Feast tonight before we sleep.
Yeah, I think so.
So going for reconnaissance now is a great idea. Unless it would give us a point of exhaustion.
It would, but I mean, you'll sleep off 1 point of exhaustion. So
That's
Do we get the exhaustion when we get back or during?
it would be during, like last time.
Hmm.
Thaddeus didn't get the long rest y'all did, but he's going to give himself some lay on hands bonus stuff.
You mean short rest?
I mean, you can take one right now.
I rolled another 6 and I shouldn't have because I rolled a 1.
Oh,
Just wanted to let you
Okay,
guys
it's
know
above
that.
average still. I mean, yeah, it's still like early morning, right? So, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
short rest here,
morning.
who cares? Like, you can take that if you need to.
Okay.
If you wanted to not use land hands, I guess, or whatever.
I mean, we're not going to fight anything else today, probably. Who knows?
Probably.
Do you want me to scry on her? I don't know Mother Midnight that well.
Do we
Doesn't
want to
matter.
scry now or later?
Well, if we're going to do recon anyway, do we need to scry?
Well, I guess we would need to scry if we don't see Mother Midnight, right? Or Maligard, because if we're just gonna go check out that area, and
Could
if
scry
they're
on
not
Ronan.
there, that's true too. Yeah,
We met Ronan.
It's true.
these are good things.
But we
Yeah, I
can't,
guess
no point scrying on Moloch because we can't get to him anyway, right?
We don't really need to scry on Moloch right now anyway, unless we want to give ourselves anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, you could scry on him. You could try.
yeah, I think the question on my mind is, do we have enough forces to get to Maligard at this point? And I think reconnaissance would answer that question.
Well, I mean, I'm ready to go if you guys are.
I mean, how are we doing it? Are we just like, can I see through invisibility? Is that something that I learned in my research?
You would know about hags. Let's see.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop,
Probably up
boop.
to a certain point, like most things, right? So if we're just out of that range.
Actually, let's see.
Oh yeah, what do I get back? 4 sorcery points back. Yeah.
You, from what you know of hags, is actually, they don't have much better senses than a lot of mortal creatures.
So invisibility would, yeah, I could make us all invisible. And we could sneak in, or are we splitting up and just a couple people going in? Are the noisy people staying behind at the temple to think about what they've done?
There's only one noisy person.
Pointed look at Thaddeus.
I think Thaddeus just looks so drained that he doesn't even notice the barb.
Oh,
Do we know how far we have to go? Is it something that we need to take Lulu again?
you flew over there last time. It would be a ways to go on foot. Lulu flies over
And
and says,
she,
I can fly us there.
yeah, can she transform again today?
Yeah, we've been really loose with her shape change just because it's more fun
Convenient.
that way. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And it's
I
fun
can
to
take everyone there.
about.
Yeah. I could also like polymorph myself or one of us to sneak in there as something nondescript, or we could just be invisible, I guess. Or I don't know how we want to do this. Should we send one person ahead, or what do you think, Sam?
I think as many able bodies as we can spare should go. I mean, I don't know what everyone, unless we have multiple objectives right now, I think we should all focus on the same one.
Yep.
Makes sense to me. Friends who stick together are the ones who live.
and you're best at scoping things out.
Ah.
So are we doing this or what? Should I get big?
Yes, I think we're doing
Okay,
this.
here goes. Big elephant trumpet as she just transforms.
All right.
It's really fun to ride on you, Lulu. I love it. Thank you.
Yay, I'm glad.
Do you need?
It's really fun to fly all of you.
Do you want Bianca to stay behind again so you can teleport back?
Actually, I already teleported today. I
Oh
can't do it
yeah, that's
anymore.
right. That's right. Okay. And I am very thankful you did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then let's get going.
Okay.
I think when we were, how long does the invisibility spell last?
I think it's 1 hour for the regular
Okay, yeah. So
version.
when we get the right distance away, I'll cast invisibility on myself through the scarf.
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
do pass without a trace when we get to that point where we're being invisible.
It's a little bit of a flight, and as you make this journey, that exhaustion from the battle that you just fought begins to set in,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just feel weariness weighing upon you. You fly over the battlefield, and also the sort of path that Mechagorgon took towards Moloch's camp, which is just a...
Yeah, but that's not a hard trail to follow.
No, it's not.
I bet
at
we
all.
don't need Xant for that.
It is a deep rut of destruction cut into the land, littered with bodies, broken war machines, and just all manner of death and destruction. So if you didn't already know where to go, it's easy enough to find it. And a little bit of flying, and you find yourselves at the mouth to the tunnel, which you had learned was Maligard's lair. It basically just kind of is a cave that opens up on top of the lair itself, and it starts out as a wide cave, but you can see that it quickly narrows down. And even just looking in briefly, you can see that there are branches off in different directions. And as you kind of inspect this tunnel, you see that, like the rest of the plane, the walls of this tunnel will occasionally twitch and move, reminding you that they are very much alive.
So those of us that don't have dark vision, but how's the lighting sitch if we decide to go in?
Well, you've got headlights.
But
I think at this point my star is gone, so I'm not emitting light either anymore.
Thaddeus' sword still does emit light, which is like 30-foot radius of bright light. I can reduce it if we think that's too much. If we want to not give our presence away, I can.
Does it still shed light if you're invisible?
That's a great question for the DM.
I think technically it would, like if it was unsheathed, but you could just sheath it and then it wouldn't.
Yeah. So it's up to you if we want that or not. Mara is, well, I think Mara is the only person who needs it, maybe.
I also don't have dark vision. I thought I had the spell, but that was old. I don't have it anymore.
Well, the group of you can hold hands or something like that with those who do have
Yeah,
dark
you can
vision.
hold on to my tail, Mara, if you wanted to.
okay.
Okay, so is invisibility cast, I assume?
Yeah, and wild magic will go on.
Yes.
Because of Tides of Chaos. So wait, so is Lulu going to stay out here?
I think so.
You want me to stay out here, or do you want to just send me
How
back to my little
sneaky
demo
are you?
plane? Oh, I'm not very sneaky.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I would rather, we might need all the, I might need all the magic I can get tomorrow. I'd rather not summon you again, Lulu.
Oh, okay, then I'll stay.
Well, we have invisibility and pass without trace, though, right? So that should help everyone's stealth.
Well, I'm
quite a
just
bit.
wondering what level spell I need to cast. Is Pinky with us? But
No.
if Pinky, Okay, so
I think he's got 1 hit point. I'm just gonna leave him. I left him
Yeah.
up.
You left
Pinky's just now a single cranium rat. So
okay, then let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many people are we that need to get invisible? 1, 2, 3,
4 plus Bianca.
1, 2, 3, 4,
And Lulu,
5.
right? So
Lulu's staying behind.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Lulu is gonna stay behind. So I
Cast
could.
your own invisibility.
Oh, Thaddy can.
Oh yeah. In fact, I told you I told Ethan I was casting it while you were gone. So you only did 4.
So I only need four people total because Lulu's not coming. So it's
Right.
1, 2, 3, and Biako. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's a 5th level. So yeah, no problem.
yeah, I was gonna say also
I could-
Byaku's really
I could
sneaky.
cover you too.
Our companions, man, are just dropping like flies.
Did you leave Biako behind or did you bring him?
I brought him.
Okay, so yeah, I'll cast invisibility then at a 5th level to cover Mara, Zant, and Biako and myself. Thaddy can fend for himself. And wild magic is gonna go off. Let me roll that real quick.
This is what I live for.
Get an advantage on stealth rolls if we're invisible.
Yes.
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 Okay, I'll cancel out my disadvantage.
Let's see, 27 and 55.
In fact, all of you are canceling out disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Oh, so we're exhausted before it starts. Not...
Yep.
Had a rough morning, physically and emotionally.
Ooh. So 27 would be really, really funny, but I feel like I need 55.
What is even the point of 27?
Didn't
wrote
you
it.
write this?
I know, but I don't know why I wrote that one.
That's so funny.
So weird.
But yeah, 55.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I triggered this very recently.
Interesting. You did.
And so that's why I'm like, ooh, 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 to be continued. Show me again. Show me more. I
Let me
want
think.
more answers.
Let me think. What do you see?
Ooh, is this that one?
I know. When your magic triggers, oh gosh, I'm so torn between a couple actually. Hold on. Let me think. Yeah.
Did you
yeah.
have to roll wild magic on yours, Nick?
I checked and I didn't. I rolled a 6 on the D10.
Nice. Okay, so when your magic goes off, all of you become invisible, those who Harmony specifies. But Harmony, you experience again a brief flash of memory or a vision of the past at a time and place where you were not present. You see a steep, sloping, rocky landscape. It seems as if the ground is uphill in every direction that you look. Somehow, by some magic, there is no easy downhill path anywhere around this location. As you stand here, you watch as boulders, massive boulders, the size of houses, and some even the size of perhaps even like small castles, begin to tumble down this hill towards you. But they seem to pass through you harmlessly, causing you no damage, even these massive castle-sized ones. You notice in the distance there are structures built into the side of the hill that seem to be built so that the boulders will roll over them and then continue their downward descent. The skies are gray and dark. And you see, the longer you stand here, you begin to see devils flying about between those different structures. They fly, in the window of one and then out another and over to cages that hang from long poles and contain what looks to be mortals, humanoids of some kind. And you watch as the devils kind of cheer as they go about their business when these giant boulders strike the cages and just jangle and jostle them, and the mortals within scream in terror as they are sent flying within these cages that just hang down over the slope. As you watch all of this, you see a woman stride forth from one of the structures. She is confident and accompanied by numerous devils. But she herself is not a devil, despite having some fiendish appearances. She has purple skin, curled horns. She is decorated in finery, but she is ugly to behold. She is a crone with wrinkled skin. You recognize Mother Midnight. And as she strides forward and surveys her domain, pausing just briefly to admire the torture of one of these mortal creatures in a cage, something begins to happen. It looks as if she starts to choke on something at first, and she kind of doubles over. And all the devils around her rush to try and help, but none of them can do anything. Some of them are casting spells on her, but nothing seemed to have any effect. And before long, the true event that is occurring becomes apparent as she begins to grow in size, continuously doubled over and in pain and agony the entire time. You can hear her screams even at a distance. She grows and grows, and her body swells and engorges, and you watch for what feels like, no, in fact, it is days. 4 days, she grows bigger and bigger and bigger until her body covers the entire sky of the plain, and she is doubled over on the slope that makes up the entire location. And eventually, she lets out one final cry in Infernal. Please, just end it! And with a deafening boom, she explodes. Guts, skin, hair, eyeballs, bones just fly everywhere, covering the entire slope. And with a shuddering thud, the entire thing lists and tilts until it is flat. The only landscape now completely made up of the remains of Mother Midnight. And as this happens, this traumatic, chaotic event that has devils scurrying about and screaming, you watch as, surrounded by hundreds of Eren Ys warriors, a figure descends from the sky on bat-like devil wings, clad in the most royal finery that you have ever seen, wearing a crown upon her brow. Glacia descends upon the land and just surveys the area, and then your vision ends. And not a moment has passed.
I was hoping you were gonna say it was hills both way in the snow.
You just hear some retching sounds from beside you, but I'm invisible, so you can't see.
Well, dang.
That felt applicable.
I knew she exploded, but I didn't realize it took 4 days. Ew.
Yeah. I'm looking at my red wine a little bit differently right now.
Oof.
That was a good choice for tonight.
So does a group of you sneak forward?
Yeah, we should go inside and check it out. So
Okay. You make your way down, and you can quickly find that the tunnels branch off in different directions. Would one of you make a survival check?
I'm proficient.
I am also proficient.
Would you like to do it then?
What's your?
I have a +8.
I think, yeah, it's the same. So, can I just help you?
Sure. So now we just do it normal because would have been a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. It's a 15.
Okay. You kind of survey your choices as you come to each of these branches. And what you begin to notice is that there is an air current down one of the branches that doesn't exist down others, but it's like an irregular current in that it seems to gently blow one direction 1 second and then back the other the next moment, just in a slow rhythm.
Okay.
I also need stealth checks from each of you, by the way.
I was wondering about that.
For everybody
So-
or just us?
Just straight rolls because we're exhausted.
Correct. But you've got pass without trace, right?
Yeah. With the benefit of pass without trace, I got a 25.
Yeah, that's 17.
With pass without trace?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got a 28 and Byako got a 34.
What do you add with pass without a trace?
Plus 10.
Oh, so then I got 30.
Nice. Okay. The majority of you overwhelming successes. So as you make your way down into the tunnels, following Xant's directions and sort of picking and choosing which way you want to go, you don't actually see many creatures. You will occasionally see kind of like a twisted and deformed toad or two hop past you, but they seem to pay you no mind. Other than that, the only signs of life that you see is the remains of it in the form of devils and slotty that are being slowly consumed by the plane, just sort of built into the tunnels, mumbling to themselves in infernal or whatever language slotty speak. I guess it's telepathic. So as you pass them, you just get like telepathic bursts of gibberish.
Oh, interesting. Hey,
Mental
Ethan,
static. Yep.
can I use one of the ranger feats to track hags, as they are one of my favorite enemies?
Sure.
Try and figure out where they go and how many there are and stuff.
So how does that bonus work?
So it says, when tracking other creatures, you also learn their exact number, their size, how long ago they passed through the area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so with careful study, in addition to the sort of weird wind pattern, the other thing that you notice, I guess this kind of confirms the suspicion that the path that exhibits this wind pattern is probably the way to go, because you notice signs of groups of hags traversing that direction. You think that there are numerous creatures that have come through here, but the most common sets seem to be maybe about 10 or so creatures that fit your profile for hags.
Okay.
Yeah, and they seem to have come and gone this direction. And as you kind of follow that tunnel, it becomes more and more obvious that that's the way to go, because you find decorations along the ceiling and walls that are very hag-like in nature. For example, you will find a wind chime made of bones that just kind of gently blows in this unnatural breeze. And just kind of, clacks against itself there. Things like that.
Okay. So I guess we just proceed with caution then.
Okay. As you go down further down this tunnel, the wind takes on a very acrid scent, and it begins to get stronger. It's almost like the scent is almost like I don't know. It's like it's a little bit acidic. It's kind of like when a battery is corroded, that sort of smell.
Is it similar to anything we smelled when we were in the swamp house? The Mother
No.
Midnight's? No, okay.
No, I don't think so.
Can I make like an Arcana check or something to see if I can recognize the source of the smell?
Sure.
And do we need to put protective covering on? Is it that strong?
Not at this point, at least. No.
It's
just a-
disadvantage, yeah.
yeah, it's just it's an unpleasant smell at this point, but nothing harmful.
And this one's going in jail officially. That was a natural one.
Dice
Okay.
jailers.
Yeah, it's hard
Yep.
to tell without getting closer and trying to actually see what you're dealing with. As you get a little bit further, the wind starts to sting your eyes as it gets stronger and stronger. And eventually, the wind gets to a point where when it's blowing against you, you have to kind of hunker down.
Oh.
And when it's blowing with you, that's your moment where you can sort of move forward quickly. But then when it begins to blow back against you, it threatens to push you back up the tunnel.
Okay.
What's the interval for this push and pull cycle?
It's quite long. Like each direction lasts maybe a minute and a half. And then there's almost a little bit of a dead period that's maybe about a minute long, and then it rushes back the other way.
Is it like when we were with the giants, when they were like sleeping, do larger creatures have like a longer breathing frequency? Would it be like something
you
like
could make like a medicine check if you wanted to.
Oh geez, I mean I'm sure, why not? Just trying to like collect or understand what might be causing this phenomenon. Let's see. Medicine. Oh boy, here we go. Well, with disadvantage, that's a 7.
7. Yeah, I mean, you're not sure.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever really saw any of the giants sleep.
I mean, we did because we were at the Christmas thing with the
that's
frost
right.
giants, and we all passed out after drinking in holiday cheer.
They snored loudly and slowly.
Okay.
I haven't during this time. I don't notice anything invisible or illusory. Do I?
Nope.
Okay.
As you proceed forward, though, eventually you reach a point where the tunnel opens up into a large chamber, and it's the source of everything you've been experiencing becomes clear. As you find yourself in sort of this, let me find my description. Massive room, though you can't tell the full extent of it because it is filled with this green acidic smoke. The walls of this chamber that you can see seem to stretch and flex, relaxing again after each expansion. And they have this kind of lumpy, gray, leathery texture to them. And as you watch, actually, as it's more, you would notice this first by audio cues, you begin to hear cackling from within that greenish smoke, just the occasional that sort of thing. And you don't see the source of it at first, but then you do notice after a little while lights within the smoke that seem to be drifting with the breeze that is generated by the expanding and contracting of this chamber. The source of these lights within the smoke are these flaming skulls. You've seen flame skulls before. It seems to be creatures like that, which will emerge briefly from the smoke, just cackling as they go. They seem to take no notice of you before plunging back into the smoke itself. And you watch as they do so, they are being melted by contact with this acidic smoke. Their bones are just melting away. But the longer you observe, you start to see like the remains of these melted skulls on the floor, and they will just kind of reform slowly back into one of these skulls, returning to life and cackling as they bustle about in the smoke.
Weird and creepy.
You know, I thought that this would be an informative scouting trip, and I feel like I have more questions than when we started.
Well, I think we're definitely learning something. I have this idea now that this is just more of Maligard's organs and insides. Like this might be like her stomach or something, you know, something
So
gross.
Maligard herself isn't going to be in here, but maybe her heart or something is,
Yeah, maybe.
if we keep delving.
Feels like we
And
might
that's
be
how we defeat her.
in a lung.
It's
Yeah.
possible, yeah. I mean, maybe.
Then you want to get to the heart of the matter real quick?
I don't think I could stomach that, Mara. At least
Maybe
not without
a little easier after we get out of this.
a little
You
bit
guys
more
are a
rest and
pain in my
recovery.
neck.
Do we want
Technically,
to
I think you
press?
guys are a pain in Maligard's neck.
Mm.
Do we want to press forward? I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any forces in here for us to deal with.
Do Ethan with the tracking? It says I know how long ago they traverse, or like what? Do I know like what their patterns are? Like how often they come and go from these?
A number of the
Locations.
hags that you have detected within these tunnels have come and gone from this location very recently, like within the past day.
Okay, so then I would tell everyone. Well, I mean, it seems like they travel pretty frequently around here, so
Is it worth hanging out, like staking this place out for an hour or so, just to see if they come through here and see what they're doing?
how long do our spells last?
Oh yeah, invisibility lasts an hour.
Because I think, yeah, I'd have to recast, which is fine. I have another, I can cast it
Yeah, I can cast invisibility a lot.
2 more times, so, but mine's also an
Yeah.
1 hour duration as
I'm
well.
I'm out of 5th level spells, but I can cast it at a higher level if I need to.
Okay. The other thing is Byakko is just really sneaky, so even without invisibility. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is it worth staying here? Like, have we decided our mission is to just find a vital organ and destroy it?
I don't think we've decided anything.
Yeah, like I don't think we've had, like, the whole purpose of this scouting mission was
To find a target.
find a target and find information, see what we're in for, and we don't have any information yet.
Yeah, I think it's a
Other than-
little risky to keep going, but I think, and kind of maybe just looking around at everyone's health. I mean, I'm a little worried because,
How
you
long has
know,
it taken us to get this far?
huh?
You've
Oh.
been, since you've been kind of going stealthily and quietly, you've had to move slowly. So maybe it's taken like about half an hour to get to this point.
Okay, so this is the time that we turn back if we're turning back.
Can you teleport us out, Harmony? Can you get us back to the camp whenever we need?
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Then let's press on.
We press on for 30 more minutes and then teleport back
Sure.
when the invisibility runs out.
Okay.
But we'll become visible for a split second or 6 seconds. I don't know how long it takes. It's instantaneous, I think, to teleport, but
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. We can keep going.
okay, let's
Do
do
we have
that.
to travel through this smoky area?
Yeah, the entire way forward, this entire chamber is filled with it, and the smoke just kind of billows and contracts with the wall of this chamber as it expands and then, you know, relaxes.
Okay. Let's see.
And the smoke is very clearly the source of the sort of acrid scent that you've been smelling.
I mean, we could hug the wall and just
Wait for it to contract and then
How large is this area that we'd have to travel through?
You can't tell. There's
Oh,
no
you
way
can't
to
even
tell.
see through it?
It's the smoke is opaque green.
Oh shoot. Okay.
You can.
What about
probably
Mara with
see-
her blind sight?
Well, Mara's blind sight only
like
goes
10 feet or
10
something.
feet.
Yeah, but we could put her out front and then she could find her.
You can see a short distance into the smoke. I misspoke. You can see about 15 feet into it, and then nothing after that. Like it's not solid opaque, but enough of it is filling the space that it blocks vision past a certain point.
Yeah, we could just keep our hand on the wall and. Can we see? Because you said earlier that there was like that kind of inhale exhale of air coming in
Mhm.
through the tunnel. Is that disturbing the smoke at all in this area?
The smoke, like I said, kind of expands and contracts with it, but it stays in this central area. So like it flows a little bit, but then it gets pulled back.
Right. I guess my question is like, could we tell by watching the direction of the smoke in which way it's getting pulled, where if the tunnel were to continue past this room, and
Not
that
from
air
where you
could.
are, but if you get like into the smoke a little ways, that sort of thing would be an indicator of the direction you need to go. Yes.
So I could conjure several war horses that we
You
could ride.
can't cast a spell,
Oh, that's true.
or you'll
Mm,
become visible.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
But I could lead the way with my blind sense because it lets me sense when creatures are near too. So
Yes. Although we can see 15 feet in front of us, so I think that's a bit farther than your blind sense or blind sight or whatever.
Okay.
But we could, just keep a hand on the wall maybe and skirt the outside and follow the direction of the smoke.
Is the entire floor covered by these pools of acid or whatever?
There's not actually like pools of any sort of liquid or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, there sort of is in the form of melted flame skulls that are slowly rejuvenating back to form. There seems to be hundreds of these creatures filling the smoke, and they just kind of are disintegrated by the acid, and then they are reborn from it.
I feel like the smoke is going to be really dangerous, though.
Well, I mean, we can go, and if we just stay within, 10 feet of me, and if we run into trouble, I'll just bamf us out of here.
Yeah, I mean, we can get started and then quickly retreat, too, and go a different... Because there was multiple directions, right? If we... Yeah, so we could go a different direction if this one's...
You mean one of the different tunnels?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, if we encounter something that's about to kill us, then I can just bamf us out.
Yeah, I think that's good. I was just saying that if this path is treacherous because we can't, we're going to just take continuous damage or something as we go across it, then we just say, well, let's go this way instead. Maybe it won't have a big acid cloud.
I see.
So we can still get some scouting in a different direction.
Yeah, we could just hold our breath as we walk through.
But it looks like it's melting the skulls. So it's it's not just breathing it, it's contact, right?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have. No, they don't have flesh already.
I have.
So
I have a 5-inch long duck bone whistle.
That'll do it.
No, I have an empty sake bottle. No, glass probably won't. Hold on.
Are you thinking of throwing something in the smoke?
Yeah, to see what happens to it. I have a broken goblin horn. I'm just sitting there rifling through my bag. I'm going to take my broken goblin horn and I'm going to just toss it very gently into the smoke and see what happens.
Okay. It rolls a little bit before slowly it begins to melt there on the floor until it is a black puddle of goo.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably not safe to go into that fog.
Yeah, unless we had one. Can we tell what damage type it is? Is it acid?
That seems to be. Yeah.
Okay. Seems to be acid damage. Which no, we're immune to poison and acid.
Okay.
I mean, any solution I can think of would require me to cast a spell. So
the one point I'll bring up is that it took a while to melt that goblin bone. It wasn't instantaneous or anything like that. So you're not gonna walk into it and then die.
If we want, I can reach my hand in and see what sort of effects are going on.
Let's just have.
I'm not sure if you're the one to do that, though, Sam.
Let's have Mara lead us through it.
Okay.
And have Harmony on standby if we need to.
But I mean,
I guess my point is, I think we need to run through. We don't want to be in here for any longer than we can, right?
We might make noise and alert whatever monsters are in here if we run.
It's okay. The shadows are on our side. We are so sneaky.
Throughout this entire conversation, this continuously dying and rejuvenating skulls have just been cackling within the smoke.
All right, let's go.
Let's run.
Let's do it.
All right.
The group of you kind of take a deep breath and then plunge into this acrid smoke, and it immediately like fills your lungs. Even if you're trying to hold your breath, it works its way in there, and you just can feel it burning within you. Also, you can see it kind of burns patches of your skin and things like that. Can the group of you make a group survival check, please?
A survival check
Survival.
at disadvantage.
Yeah, I guess it will all be disadvantage.
Ooh, that's not bad. I got 2 16s, so that's 24.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
You guys, I rolled double ones.
Oh
Oof.
no.
It's okay. I balanced it out.
Well, you didn't balance out my one,
It's okay.
You
I
got a
balanced
1
it out.
too?
which turns
I
into a 3.
I got a 6, which turns into a 14.
14. Okay.
You're right. I didn't balance it out.
The group of you make your way forward, and you're hugging the wall, but the group of you are invisible. And at one point, who is it who rolled the ones? It was Thaddeus and Mara. As you get a little ways into the smoke and it begins to obscure your vision and it's burning your eyes, and you can't see your companions, you're kind of relying on physical contact. Mara and Thaddeus, you lose contact with your friends. You can't feel them anymore. You seem to have been separated, but you can't see each other. Well, I guess Thaddeus could.
Yeah.
But you seem to have, like you closed your eyes for a brief second as they were stinging. And when you reopened them, your friends had moved along and you can't see any of them at the moment within sort of the 15-foot radius that the smoke creates.
Sorry, but I was trying to keep within 10 feet of everyone.
I know. So Harmony and Zant, you feel like this contact you feel contact with them get lost, but you can't see them.
Well, we couldn't see them anyway, but
Mara and Thaddeus can still see each other.
No, not at this point. You seem to have been separated in different directions.
Okay.
And I also need Mara and Thaddeus to take 18 points of acid damage. And the other two of you will take 9.
Okay.
As the lingering effects of this acid kind of continuously burn at you.
Alright.
2 of you have been separated. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna do my best to. I don't know.
yeah, I rolled a concentration check for invisibility, and it's a really good thing that I have a +9 to Constitution because
Well, you
I rolled
can't
a
fail
4.
that then. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really fail that, but yeah, that was a good thing.
The Book of Bodybuilding.
So, yeah. So I don't know where Mara went, huh? Let's see.
And since you guys are being
Sadie, do you have to roll a concentration check
I
too?
just did that.
Okay.
To keep my invisibility. Yeah, I did it. I got an 18 on that. It's fine.
So we were going up against the wall though, right?
Yeah, something happened. Like you had to kind of blink stuff out of your eyes, and you lost, like the pain kind of flared up, and you lost contact with them, and then now you are in fog and can't see anything.
Okay, I'm gonna still push through the direction we were originally heading.
Okay, what's Thaddeus going to do? It's the problem is compounded by the fact that you're trying to be sneaky, so like you can't shout out to each other as easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try and find Mara, basically.
Okay. Harmony and Zant, you can still feel each other, and you know Byakko is there with you. But you seem to have lost 2 of your companions in the smoke. What are you going to do?
I'm going to keep following the direction of the air current, like we had discussed, and try to find the other end of the tunnel.
Same.
Okay.
So I think just like
all
resting.
the while you're
yeah.
doing this, and you're trying to make your way through the smoke, these cackling heads will just occasionally emerge from the smoke, seemingly ignoring you completely as they just fly by you and as they go. So Thaddeus, can you make a perception check if you're looking for Mara?
I rolled exactly what I just rolled on my survival check. A 1 and a 3.
Yikes. Okay.
Oh no.
You kind of stumble a little bit looking for Mara, and you spot something ahead that you think maybe is her. It looks like a human form on the ground. And you run up to it and kind of turn it over because it's face down. And you find yourself holding the melting, dead and desiccated body of Dawn, clad in her plate armor, a look of horror on her face, and it's just
Whoa.
acid melting. And then you blink and it's gone. Mara, you're pushing your way forward, as is the other group. Can all three of you roll survival checks?
Sure.
Uh, 14 and a 10.
Yeah, I rolled 2 6s, so 14.
12.
That should I say that was 3 6s in a row again?
Ooh.
What the fuck?
No, what the
That's pretty
hell?
crazy. Harmony and Zant, you get to a point in the room where you feel the current sort of switching directions. You think you're probably at about the midpoint.
Okay.
Just dashing your way through, it seems like you've made significant progress, and you're managing to keep hold of the wall. So you guys take another 9 acid damage.
Mhm.
Mara, what was your total?
I got a 14 and a 10, so I guess a 10.
A 10? Okay. You continue to stumble forward in this fog, unable to see or find anyone. You're unsure where you are at this point in time. You and Thaddeus both take the full 18 points of acid damage.
You know, I was gonna suggest tying ourselves to each other, and I didn't because I thought, oh, I don't want a monster to find that rope. But now I'm wishing I had suggested that.
Where's my whip when I need it?
What's everybody doing?
Flying away somewhere.
My invisibility is still good. I'm gonna, God, I'm gonna try and find the exit, or try and find where we were pushing toward.
Okay. Mara, pushing forward.
Yep.
Okay, everybody.
Can Bianco smell them, or is the acid too much for his nose?
Or here,
I mean,
maybe?
he can try. He wouldn't get advantage because exhaustion, but
But at least it would be a straight roll.
Yeah.
And not disadvantage.
Yeah.
do you want to ask Biako to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
So, Biako, where are the others? And he will try to find them. He got a 17.
17. Biako kind of sniffs, wrinkles his nose as it fills with the acidic smog, but then kind of screws up his face and then looks backward, and sort of off a little bit to the side.
So
Seems to have identified at least one of them back in that
maybe
direction.
since Biako, even when rolling a 3 on die, gets a 17, maybe he can. I'll ask him. Can you run back and bring them to the exit? Guide them there. I think they're lost in this
Biako
terrible
just
smoke.
gives you a knowing nod,
Yeah.
eyes kind of watering
And
from the smoke.
And I'll give him a scritch on the neck and pat him on the on the side. Be like, I believe in you, friend.
Okay. Do you have-
Expectation versus reality. You both are invisible, so you're like, there.
Bianca's like always like right at my side though. Yeah.
All right. Survival checks then from everyone as you continue to try and push your way forward.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
17 this time.
Me too.
Same.
Okay. Mara, as you catch kind of a lucky break, as you stumble forward and you find a point in the room where you also notice that it seems like the smoke is being pulled in different directions, and you think that you've sort of found a midpoint, which kind of gives you a good idea of the direction you need to head. And as you reach that point, you feel a little something bump into your leg, and then you hear a meow, which you recognize to be Byakko.
Okay, I'll immediately put my hand on it and keep my hand there.
I was hoping you'd
Okay.
find Thaddeus. That's okay.
Thaddeus, what was your roll?
13.
14? Okay.
13.
Oh, 13. You aren't at a point where you can tell if you're making progress. You're just continuing to stumble forward through this fog, kind of leaving the body, the image of Dawn's body behind you. Thaddeus, actually, I think everyone this time only takes the 9 points of acid damage. Zant and Harmony, eyes watering, but still together, and having survived, making your way through, you emerge into a tunnel on the other side.
Oh, yes.
There, like, I think Thaddeus takes like a bad lungful of the smoke and just starts hacking and coughing, and his concentration on his invisibility drops, and he yells out, "I'm going back!" And cast Dimension Door.
Okay. Mara and Byakko hear that. Byakko, you kind of feel Byakko nudging you back in that direction, but what do you want to do, Mara? You're the only one still in the smoke at this point.
Yeah, I'll keep my hand in his fur, grab it, and follow.
Okay, it seemed like he was pointing back in the direction where Thaddeus just shouted.
All right, I'll grab Zant and I'll dimension door us back to the other side of the tunnel.
Okay.
Before we get there,
Before we do that,
yeah, what do we see when we emerge from the other side?
That's a good question. So when you emerge on the other side, you see more tunnels, but these ones don't seem to go on for too much longer before they open up into another chamber. You can't quite from this position see what's in that chamber, but what you do notice from where you are is that on this side of the tunnels, all of the like dead bodies and things like that, which adorn the walls on the way in, have been replaced with a number of strangely colored plants and fungi that just seem to cover the walls and ceiling and floor forward.
yeah, actually, before I dimension door, I'd like to grab something from this tunnel, like a rock or something that looks harmless.
Roll an investigation check.
Okay.
Can I help Harmony with this?
Yep.
Thank you.
Do I get attacked by any of these flame skulls?
Nope.
That's a 10.
Okay. Digging through this, like all of these plants and things to find anything that seems harmless. Some of the like funguses, as you get close to them, they kind of emit spores, and you shy back away from those.
To be clear, I'm looking for something that I could use to teleport back to this spot later.
I imagine so, but
okay.
The plants are covering so much of the walls and floor that like you kind of have to rummage through the plants a little bit to find anything like that.
Would a plant work?
Maybe, but you don't really have to find out, because after a little bit of looking around, it maybe takes a few minutes, but amidst a clump of strange-looking moss, you find a skull that has a pair of like bull horns coming up off of it, a tiefling skull.
Oh,
Great. That's not creepy. I put that in my bag and I'm like, all right, let's get out of here. I grab Hunter and I dimension
that?
door us back.
Just before you do that,
Because you wrote who's Hunter on your thing.
I've
It's
almost fallen
screwing
for
me
that
up.
too.
Oh my God.
Just before you do that, Harmony, you hear, and only Harmony hears this, Zant doesn't hear it. You hear just sort of drifting on the flow of the wind from the chamber preceding this location, a voice, and it just says, Harmony, Harmony, where are you? And you are hurled back to your childhood in those, those occasional moments where you and your mother would play hide and seek. It's her voice. Harmony.
Even though I'm still invisible at the time?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
coming to find you now. And then you dimension door back.
Yeah, this cave sucks. Where's Mara?
I thought you had her.
Moments later,
I
Mara.
thought you had her.
Moments later, you feel. Well, I guess Mara, you would see Thaddeus as you emerge from the fog, and the group of you would feel Byakko as he kind of nuzzles against each of your legs individually. Mara. And
No,
Byakko-
everyone's visible because I cast dimension door.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Well, that would only end the spell for you, actually, because it's not concentration.
It is concentration. Regular
Dimension
invisibility.
doors?
Is concentration.
Dimension door is not concentration though, so he's right. It would end for me, but everyone else is still invisible.
Yeah.
Because I'm still maintaining concentration on invisibility.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because, yeah, casting a spell is broken
Yeah,
on
yeah,
like an
yeah.
individual basis. It's weird.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But yeah, the group of you reunite on the other side. Mara, you would have taken another 9 points of acid damage, but
But I can choose to end the spell because
you
it's
want to.
concentration. So I would do that because I need to see them in order to teleport them.
we're getting out of here.
I mean, I think so.
So
Sorry, I
Echo was able to lead me back.
Yeah.
lost
Yes,
the spell.
Byakko was able to. Yeah, because Byakko rolling so low and still getting such a high number,
He has
really
Yeah, he has a plus 14. So if
Yeah.
he rolls a 1, he gets a 15.
Byakko can unerringly make his way towards any one of you in this
Yeah.
moment.
The good news is I took a souvenir, so I can bring us right back to this point
Well,
tomorrow.
that point.
To that point, the other end of this tunnel.
Let's be clear. Over there.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do we look? Is our flesh like corroding or anything like that from being exposed? Because I'm pretty hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
You and me both.
there's like acid burns, but it's nothing that, a little bit of healing magic and a good night's rest, it's not going to permanently scar or anything like that. It definitely stings to touch. It's not pleasant, but
The skin is raw and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun, guys.
Went about as expected.
I mean, we probably couldn't have expected much more being so tired from our fight this morning.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't help at all.
Do we need Lulu? Is she still waiting for us, or
It should be. Let's teleport back to her.
that's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I can try it.
Do we need to teleport to Lulu?
Can we just try walking out?
That's true. We didn't really encounter anyone, but we're not invisible. I could cast invisibility on us right now, and we could just walk out.
Alright.
so is that what you're doing? You just cast invisibility and then walk
Yeah,
out?
I'll cast it at a 6th level this time to get Zaddy as well,
Okay.
and we'll just walk out, I guess.
You make your way back out, and you're not threatened by anything. You see a few more random toads kind of hopping here and there that have like kind of deformed and twisted bodies, but they don't seem to mind. But other than that, you don't really see any creatures other than the weird half-dead mumbling things in the walls. You make your way back to the tunnel mouth, and you can see Lulu's just kind of busying herself by like flying circles high up in the sky, just trying to see how fast she can go and how many circles she can do before she gets dizzy.
Great.
But you also notice right at the mouth of the tunnel, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 wooden unicorn toys just placed in a line along the mouth of the tunnel. And as you get close to them, you can see that each of them is carved with kind of crude engraving with your names. There's one for Zant, there's one for Harmony, there's one for Mara, and there's one for Thaddeus. And Harmony, yours is pink. It's been painted.
Yep. Okay. It's about the response that I thought would happen.
Sorry, I'm giving Luna some water. Hold on.
We read you loud and clear.
Yeah. Well, I don't touch mine. I just kind of don't even try and pay attention to it.
But it's a unicorn.
I mean, I wouldn't touch it.
No, I'm gonna use telekinesis to bring mine down to myself.
Okay. Yeah, it just kind of floats in front of you.
And I would like to inspect it for any secret messages.
Sure. Roll like an investigation check.
Even with disadvantage, I rolled a 16 on die, so that would be an 18.
Okay. Looking at it very closely, your name is carved into it, so that you see that obviously, but I don't think you find anything in particular. You notice some like nice details, like its tail and its mane have kind of a rainbow pattern to them. If anything, you just feel kind of like a creepy sense of, ooh, the person who made this knows what I would like. They know a bit too much about me.
Stalker.
All right, I'm gonna keep it.
Reach out and grab it and put it in your
No,
bag.
I put it in my bag with telekinesis.
Oh, okay.
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it, but it's staying in my bag.
Fair enough. Yeah, and then Lulu sees you and flies down. Hey, yay, you're back. That wasn't that long.
Yeah, thank goodness. Didn't want to spend a whole lot more time there.
I'm glad to see you, Lulu.
Back
Takes
to camp now?
Back to the camp.
All right, you've got it. And she, big trumpet grows to her full size again, lets you all on her back, and wings you back to the Temple of Cold Justice. As you fly over the camp, you can see that most of the Yugoloths that were remaining seem to have reset up their tents and things like that and are resting. But it looks like some of the force did desert. Not as much as could have been, but some.
We'll take any help we can get.
Yeah, give us those legendary actions again. So.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm pretty beat.
Is there anybody we want to scry on? Wait, actually, like I can't. I wasted my last slot getting out of that tunnel.
Well, we could use a short rest to attune to the scrying eye, and then another short rest to attune back. We have time. But I guess if our target is not Maligard herself per se, but her organs, then maybe there isn't something we need to scry on, unless we could scry on just like her heart or something.
Well,
no.
I'd be interested just to try scrying on Maligard and see where the scrying orb takes us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
It could be that she has a physical presence somewhere, or an embodiment.
It's not as if we have a shortage of body parts to power the spell with.
This is true. Because you get a bonus if you have like a part of them.
Oh. Well,
You
I
just
bet
reach
the
down,
grab
chaos
it.
amulet
Yeah.
would give a bonus too, right?
It's just like reaches down and rips up some on the ground and said, "This is as good as anything else."
It
all
That's true.
squelches in your hand. Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the question is, who wants to do it?
I can do it. I don't mind.
You want to scry?
Sure.
And you want to pick her brain? Maybe.
You guys have already fought a brain. Come on. Cut me some slack.
See what she's about.
Yeah, I think it'd be better for Zant or Harmony to do it.
It's a little too
because
close. Yeah, go ahead.
Both of them have.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Sure. Mara, that one was a little too close to the chest.
You guys are
Yes.
giving me a headache.
Head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah.
You guys go be a gross couple somewhere else.
I'll take the scrying orb and grab a piece of flesh and be like, well, here's to trying.
All right.
And
so
I'll do it.
Xant attunes to it and then cast the spell. Okay.
Sure.
With the piece that you have of her and
Oh, yuck.
your sort of innate fated connection, I'm not going to make a saving throw. The scrying orb pulls you out of yourself and off across the plain of Malbolg. It quickly rushes down into the tunnels, but it's so fast that you can't see the path it takes. You briefly glimpse the room that you were in, and the vision that the scrying orb takes is wide enough and clear enough because it is a special scrying orb of true seeing, that you can see that room for what it was, a massive smoke-filled lung that is still pumping air backward and forward.
Yeah.
You rush through that room and down another tunnel, past that grove of flowers and plants. There may have been a creature in there. You can't tell. It's too fast. The orb draws you beyond that, down more tunnels yet, until it finally comes to rest in a large open chamber. The first thing you notice about the chamber is a steady pulsing, thumping sound. The thump, the thump, the thump. And as your vision clears and you begin to see the rest of the room, you see a massive necrotized heart encased completely in a crystalline stone that pulses with rainbow magic. The thump. With each pulse, that rainbow magic echoes throughout the room. And you see that it comes into contact with shimmering portals, which are at the end of passageways that drift off from this heart chamber. And as the scrying orb comes to rest in the center of the room, you just say, or you just hear, "Why, hello, my pretty." This voice echoes ethereally, telepathically, mentally across the room. "It's been some time. I thought I felt you nearby. You're coming, aren't you? To rebuild my body. Finally, after all this time." The thump, the thump. And then the vision ends.
Okay. Were there other creatures in that room, or was it just the necrotized heart and portals and stuff?
It was just the heart and portals from what you could see.
Huh.
Yep.
Do the portals look like anything similar to anything we've seen before? Like the ones from Sigil, or like the ones that summon Slotty?
If anything, it would kind of remind you of the magic that connected the rooms in Mother Midnight's hut the first time you encountered her. There was kind of this sort of interdimensional space that was connected in weird ways.
Kept going through that same hallway and stuff, yeah.
And it seemed like there were 3 portals sort of at the end of side hallways coming off the main chamber, like short side hallways. And one of the portals seemed to glow with like a white color. One of them glowed with like a bluish color. And one of them glowed with like a dark foresty green color.
Okay.
And each of them kind of shimmered a bit as the heart pulsed within this stone and the rainbowy magic echoed throughout the room.
Interesting. So yeah, so Zant will, I guess, regain his senses and kind of just shudder a little bit. Just, oh gosh. And then, well, she knows that we're coming. And
I
there
don't think that's news.
Yeah. But as we were thinking, it did take me to the heart of the matter. Looks at Mara, then looks back at everybody. And then
It's canon!
yeah, and I'll explain the room and be like, I think like those portals remind me of the, like kind of with Harmony, what we saw at her, that swamp house thing. Otherwise, I didn't see any other creatures there, but we were going down the right path, or at least maybe it looked like there were multiple ways to get there, or deep within is this one large room with this big pulsing heart. So, unfortunately, couldn't really glean any other insight from it, knowing what pieces are in play to rebuild her body, or whatever that means, whatever these plans are that she has.
Yeah, I worry that maybe stabbing the heart is exactly what she wants us to do.
I think she wants you there.
Yeah,
she
absolutely wants me.
Somehow you being there is going to complete this ritual or something that she's trying to perform.
I wonder if I need to leave my amulet behind.
Well, does your amulet exude this rainbow magic, or is it you?
The rainbow magic is mine, but the amulet is something that she made.
I should specify. The crystal that encased the heart is identical to the crystal set.
Oh well, shoot.
Amulet.
Yeah, okay.
It is her amulet is cut from that stone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's something.
Yeah. The problem is like the amulet is what gives me a lot of my power.
Here's a thought. So we have our bag of holding, which is another just a pocket dimension. We could put it in there if we're worried about it, and then it's close but yet not in the same plane.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If I take it off, it causes any magic to trigger wild magic.
Okay, I have a question for you about your mage hand. If your mage hand could reach into the bag of holding, you'd still be technically wearing the amulet?
Technically, to get an item out of the bag of holding, you have to you call it up by speaking the name of the item you want. So the mage hand
I can't just put my mage hand in there. Yeah.
It can't actually get stuff out of there, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember when I had all those books flying on your ship?
Oh, I don't really have it. It's just failing here.
So, I mean, well, we already get plenty of wild magic. I'm sure a little bit more won't kill us this time.
Well, if we put the amulet in the bag of holding, that might resolve the problem. It's just anyone who's within a certain proximity to the amulet would have this problem. But putting it into the bag of holding might be okay, but my spells wouldn't be as potent without it.
Yeah. Yeah, we just really don't have the information. I'm not really sure what the correct answer is. Because it's either you or the amulet, or maybe it's a combination. In any case, I am a little worried about bringing the amulet in closer contact to that large heart, and I'm worried that she can control it against us.
As am I.
Because
maybe it is smart just to take it out of the equation.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, because that amulet has definitely saved us many, many times, you and that amulet, so...
Lulu comes over and says, well, Harmony, if it's any consolation, from what I've seen of you, you're plenty powerful without it. I think you're great, and I don't think your greatness comes from the amulet, but at the same time, it sounds like this is going to be really dangerous. So maybe it's a good idea to take all of your best weapons? I don't know. On one hand, I feel like you'll be okay one way or another. But on the other hand, better safe than sorry?
Thanks. That's very helpful.
You're welcome.
Pat.
Lulu's always so sweet.
Aw, thanks.
What do you think, Thaddeus?
What are we talking about?
I'll just kind of repeat a little bit of what we were talking about. If
What
he
has
was-
Thaddeus been up to, by the way?
Like, he's been in his own head for a long time.
You alright?
I'm fine.
Insight
think-
check.
You could at least not lie to us. Like, after all we've been through, you could have the decency to be honest with us.
And now he's been abnormally quiet.
Especially now.
I think that we'll be fine whether you wear the amulet or not. We'll destroy Maligard whether you wear it or not. This nonsense about her body being rebuilt won't come to pass. And then I assume we'll all go home.
You're avoiding the initial question.
It doesn't seem like Thaddeus is going to answer.
I don't know what you want me to say, Harmony.
Look, I know hell has been difficult for all of us. That doesn't mean you get to shut down.
I'm gonna help us fulfill our objective, and then we'll all go home. And
I'm not worried about that.
3 of us will be going home with our souls intact.
Why don't you just say what you mean?
I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna see Moloch again. Asmodeus hates me, Harmony. All he has to do to get his revenge is to keep Moloch locked down there in Nessus for the next 50 or 60 years until I pass away. That's all he has to do. And he already has Moloch. It will be easy.
We're going to get Moloch back. We've come this far.
If you have an idea for how, I'd like to hear it.
We don't have enough information yet.
Lulu seems very uncomfortable with the silence, and she just blurts out, "Maybe we sleep on it!"
Maybe we do. Yeah, I think, like Harmony said though, it was sprung upon us. But yeah, I mean, we're all in this together, so I don't think anyone would shy away from helping you out of this pinch.
I stand up at my full 4-foot height and I
I'm
walk over
intimidated.
to Thaddeus and I jab my finger into his chest and I say, for all the shit you've put me through, all of the selfish decisions that you've made, despite things that we have talked about before, and you not trusting us to save you and making a deal with that archdevil, in spite of everything, we've stuck together. You think we're going to just let you get away with being damned? You think we're not going to do everything in our power to get you out of your fucking contract? Snap the fuck out of it. And I'm going to smack him across the face as hard as I can.
Yeah, I mean, on your very tippy toes, maybe you can reach his face, his chin.
I'm
Really.
4 feet tall now. I can reach.
Well, Harmy always has been a little bit of a drama queen. We can deal. He'll get over it. He knows we'll help.
He's been a drama queen, sure, but this is going above and beyond. And I'm sick of it.
Yeah, you know what? I think like Thaddeus starts to retort, and then he like stops himself and thinks for a second. And... Actually, Harmony, if we ever do see Moloch again, I think I know what to do.
You'd better. We'll cross that bridge later. For now, you have to keep your head on Maligard.
Maligard has to keep her own head on first.
If you say so.
I think that ship has sailed. Now I give him a little soft puncher in his chest against his armor. And then I go and I sit down and I'm like, who's hungry? And I cast Hero's Feast.
Oh god, Harmony, not again.
Nice. So the group of you sit down and enjoy a nice, nasty tasting Hero's Feast. And you know, it despite the taste, it goes a little ways to restore your exhaustion. Harmony's speech, I think, puts at least most of the group in decent spirits. I can't speak for how it affects Thaddeus, but Lulu seems jazzed by it. She's like, yeah, we're going to kill a hag. That heart doesn't stand a chance. And she's all hyped up through dinner. And eventually the time comes to get some rest. And full of food as you are, exhausted from fighting Mecha Gorgon as you are, rest is easy to come by.
16 additional hit points.
Nice.
Okay.
Which I believe was the same as last time.
Close, if not exact.
I think it's exactly the same as last time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
Now
I was thinking about, like, you know how close both Zant and Thaddeus came to, like, fighting it? And I was like, those hit points we got from Hero's Feast probably made all the difference in that fight.
Oh, yeah.
You also
100%.
heal 16 hit points right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Watch is, I mean, I assume you guys keep watch. I don't need anyone to roll checks or anything like that. You have a restful night for the most part, but I do want to know who takes the watch. Which of the three of you?
I'll
I
take a
want
watch.
to take the second watch.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to rest because I'm.
Zant first, Thaddeus, and then Harmony. Okay.
Sure.
So, Zant, during your watch, as you kind of, you know, keep an eye over the group of your friends, kind of all sleeping peacefully, trying to prepare themselves and their bodies for what comes tomorrow, you catch Thaddeus kind of twitching back and forth a little bit. It looks like Thaddeus is having a little bit more of a fitful night's rest. And that's because, Thaddeus, you have an experience while you're sleeping. You find yourself in a chamber of dark stone that seems marbled with red crimson lines. Orange fires light the entire chamber from along the walls. They're in sort of just various fireplaces. Each fireplace is carved with evil-looking devil sculptures and faces and things like that. And as you look down the room lengthwise, you spot a throne with a 9-pointed star at the top carved out of wicked-looking infernal iron. And you see exactly the figure you'd expect to see in his red pinstripe suit, standing at the edge of the throne. And he strides forward towards you and he says, "Very clever to put together my motives. However, you've overlooked just one thing. I am not your enemy. I still see a path forward where we can be, well, if not friends, partners, perhaps. I am more than willing to return the imp to you at the appropriate moment. When you've accomplished your mission and are ready to leave the Hells. That's what you want? No? But I would be remiss if I didn't take advantage of an opportunity. Surely you can see that. You are correct to point out that I now hold in captivity, by the legal letter of the law, through a few loopholes here and there, your soul. And I'm under no obligation to return it to you, but I am a generous individual. It does beg the question, though. What do you value as much as your soul? What are you willing to offer for it? Thaddeus, you can kind of hear your heartbeat racing in this moment. The thump, the thump. And we'll pick up there next week so that you can have some time to think.
Holy shit.
Thank you to those of you who came to watch. Hope to see you again next week. We'll be back with more of this for what will surely be another exciting episode. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.